shallow.
It isn't that the particle is in more than one place at once. It's rather that the particle is in a situation in which questions about its position can't even be raised, in which questions about its position don't even make sense, in which asking about the particle's position has the same logical status as asking about the political affiliations of a tuna sandwich, like I said, or the marital status of the number 5.
Particles, back to particles. They're not matter, and they're not energy, they're not even in space, they're not even in time. They are patterns which we perceive as a way of understanding what's going on in this realm, this gooey realm that we can't get our hands into. It's our way of understanding. It allows us to make predictions. It gives us a handle on what's going on, but it ain't the whole story by any means. Answer number 2. Particles aren't really what they seem to be. They're momentary manifestations, momentary poppings of this deeper imaginary realm, this wave-like realm, this implicate order, as David Bohm would say it, this quantum wavy function, as quantum physicists might talk about it, in which there is no particle. There's just this waviness which can spontaneously pop out as particles. So where do they go when they're not in particle? They're in wave world, or in the alternate universe world, where the people in that universe are asking the same question about those particles when they come into our universe. They say, where do they go? The best way I can describe it is, when you ain't looking, it's like a wave. When you are looking, it's like a particle. Answer number 3, they went into the rabbit hole.
Superheroes use superposition, with the world being potential strips of reality, until we choose. Heroes choose what they want, being in many places at once, experiencing many possibilities all at once, and then collapsing on the one. The question is, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go?
I think we love rabbit holes so much because we realize that there is a greater reality out there, and that the reality is much more akin to our dreams.
Your own mind is creating multiple possibilities in your subconscious. The superpositions of possibilities are in your subconscious. I mean, you may be consciously aware of them, but they exist, I think, in superposition of multiple possibilities, which after a while will collapse to one or the other.
Project or plan into the future or cast a thought ahead of itself.
Nice shot.
"50 years ago, we were trying to understand the electron. And for God's sakes, the thing turns out to be a wave function, okay? It's a wave. You can't localize it. You try to localize it. It really slips through your fingers. It's impossible to localize. So for a while, we got used to the fact that, okay, there are no particles ultimately. There are just waves. It's called a wave function. When you go deeper into physics and you really try to get a handle on what the wave function is, you localize that wave, and the wave slips through your fingers because the wave actually gets replaced in quantum field theory with something more abstract that doesn't even have a shape. It must be described instead as a simultaneous coexistence of all possible shapes. It's not even a self-respecting wave. It's something more abstract than that. It has slipped through your fingers again. And then when you get beyond quantum field theory to unified field theory, you try to even grasp the nature of that quantum field, which is already abstract, and you end up with something that's pure being, absolutely beyond the intellect to even describe. Pure abstractness, pure potentiality, pure existence.